So today we are on 4.3, and 4.3 is on determinants. Our learning targets are two of those. We're going to find the determinant using expansion by minors, and we're also going to find the determinant using diagonals. On your homework, you're going to be required to have to follow the directions. When it tells you to find the determinant using expansion by minors, and I expect you to do so. If it tells you to find the determinant using diagonals, I expect you to use that. And then you also have to find the area of a triangle using determinants. The Bermuda Triangle, this is a picture of that, it's an area located off the southeastern Atlantic coast of the United States, and it's noted for high incidence of unexplained losses of ships and small boats and aircraft. And if we were given the coordinates of the vertices of this triangle, then you could find the approximate area of the triangle there. So we could use a determinant to actually find the approximate area of the triangle if we had those coordinates. So that's one nice application problem for a determinant. So the determinant, it ends up being just a special number. It's a single number. It can be calculated from a matrix. It tells us things about the matrix, and it's useful in systems of linear equations and calculus and other places as well. The symbol for the determinant is two vertical lines on either side, so it looks something like this. If I had like matrix A here, and I had two straight lines, so that would be the determinant of matrix A. So calculating the determinant, first of all, the matrix has to be a square matrix in order for us to find the determinant of it. So it has to have the same number of rows as it does columns. So like a 2 by 2 or a 3 by 3, those have the same number of rows as they do columns. And a 2 by 2, we're going to find the determinant for that one first. So coming down here where it says A is equal to, and then you got A, B, C, D. So to find the determinant of matrix A there, you would take AD, so multiply A times D, and then minus B times C. So let's go ahead and let's actually use some numbers here and find this. So A times D would be -2 there, times 8, and then minus 5 times 6. So that would be a -16 minus 30, which would give us a -46. And then we could do the same thing with number 2 here. We could take 7 times 2 would be AD, minus B times C would be 4 times -3. So that gives us a 14. Minus a minus there is going to give us a plus. And so we simply end up with 26. And then number 3 here, we can do -4 times -2 minus 6 times -3. So that really gives us 8. Minus a minus there becomes a plus. And we get a value there of 26. So now let's go ahead and let's look at 3 by 3s. So we did 2 by 2s, now we're looking there at 3 by 3s. Now 3 by 3s, we've got one method of being able to find the determinant. It is expansion by minors. You can't use the same AD minus BC thing for 3 by 3s. It looks a little different here. It's a little bit more complicated. So look at ours here, kind of coming through here and explain it to you. I'm going to pull this down. There we go. So expansion by minors here. What you do here is you can take the first row here, which is A, B, C. So I'm looking right here at this row right here. I can take A, B, C, and the first row there goes plus, minus, plus. And so that's what we did. So A here, and then it's minus B, and then it's plus C times whatever this is. So to be able to get these determinant things after A and after B and after C there, we get those let me show you how that works. So if I take the first row here and I cancel it out, because I'm looking at A here, I wrote down A, what's left over? E, F, H, I. All right? And then we can do the same thing for the next one here. Take out the first row, and since we're looking at B for the second one there, what goes in here inside the lines over here? D, F, G, I. So that's what we wrote there. And then the third one here, again, we take out that top row there, and then since we're looking at C, cross out that column there, and we're left there with D, E, G, H. Okay, that might not make sense when we do it this way, so then let's just do expansion by minors with some actual values. So doing that, we've got this nice matrix here. So I'm going to write it out. So the first row I'm going to write down 2, and then minus 7, and then plus a negative 3 times something. So what goes in here? Well, we're going to set those up. Okay, so inside here, we're going to look at this. We've got our first row, we're going to cancel it out, and then we're looking here what's left over. 5, negative 4, 9, 0. Then we're going to come over here, and now we're going to look at getting rid of second column because 7's in that column. So we got negative 1, negative 4, 6, and 0. And then our last one here, we're now going to go ahead here. And since now we're looking at the negative 3, what's left? Negative 1, 5, 6, 9. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the determinant of each one of those matrices. So the 2 is outside here. 5 times 0, so just do AD minus BC. So 5 times 0 is 0, minus negative 4 times 9 there is a negative 36, minus 7 times negative 1 times 0 there is 0, minus a negative 24, because negative 4 times 6 is a negative 24, and then plus a negative 3 times negative 1 times 9 there is negative 9, minus 5 times 6 there is 30. So now let's clean this up. This becomes 2 times 36 minus 7 times 24 minus 3, because a plus and minus there becomes a minus, times a negative 39. So really, 2 times 36 there is 72. So 72. And then 7 times 24 there is 168. And then 3 times 39 there is 117. So now we can take 72 minus 168 plus 117 gives us 21. This is supposed to be 72. All right. So now I've got one for you to try. So go ahead and try that out. You can pause the video and then I'll go through the solution. Alright, so let's go through the solution. We're supposed to write down the first row using expansion by minors, so negative 2. It's got to be a minus 3, and then plus a negative 1. So if I do this one, what's left? Negative 3, 8, negative 6, negative 5. So then I can go ahead and draw my line now on the 3 there. What's left? 5, 8, 4, negative 5. So I'm going to cross out the 1 now. 5, negative 3, 4, negative 6. So let's do the math on this. So find the determinant, AD minus BC. So negative 3 times negative 5 there is 15, minus 8 times a negative 6 there is a negative 48. 5 times a negative 5 there is a negative 25, minus 32, and then a minus 1. 5 times 6 there is a negative 30, minus a negative 12 becomes a plus 12. So really we get negative 2 times 63 minus 3 times negative 57 minus 1 times the negative 18. So doing our math on this, we get negative 126. A minus there is going to be a plus. So we get 171 and then plus 18. So doing our math, negative 126 plus 171 plus 18 yields 63. So if you did your math correctly, you would have gotten 63 there. All right, we're not going to do another one here, but if you wanted to do this one, you should get a solution here of a negative 28. All right, so let's go ahead now and start thinking through our diagonals here. So another method for solving these is to use diagonals. So let me show you. I'm going to pull this down. So what you want to do is you want to rewrite the first two columns to the right of the determinant. So that's what they took. They took negative 1, 4, 0, and it went here. The second column is 3, negative 2, negative 5. That's written there. And so we want to find the products. We want to go ahead and find the products of the elements of the diagonals. So to do that, you can see where they have the yellow lines there drawn. They go ahead and they multiplied negative 1 times negative 2 times 2 gave them 4. They multiplied 3 times negative 1 times 0, they got 0. They did negative 3 times 4 times negative 5, and they got 60. So, and then they added those all up. So 4 plus 0 plus 60, and then you're going to subtract off the product of the diagonals going up from the corner. So 0, negative 2 times negative 3, there gave them 0. Negative 5 times negative 1 times negative 1 gives you negative 5. 2 times 4 times 3 gives you 24. So then you subtract off those. So it goes 4 plus 0 plus 60, and then down here, 4 plus 0 plus 60, and then you're going to subtract off 0, subtract off negative 5, subtract off 24, and our determinant there ends up being 45. So let me go through an example of that. We're going to go ahead and evaluate this one here.